Today, we're going to show you freeze drying hamburger and chili. So we bought some 95% lean ground beef and we fried that up, and it's in the freezer right now along with the chili that's the leftovers from what I made the other night. So when you are doing a pre-frozen meal, you need to actually pre-freeze the freeze dryer as well. So we're going to start that process now. So the freeze dryer is empty at this point. We're going to tell it that our defrost cycle is done. And we're going to start our next cycle, pre-frozen. So it's telling you that it's pre-freezing, and it'll tell you when it's ready for you to put the food into it. The next video that we're going to do will be for Ryan showing you how to change the oil on the vacuum pump, because it will be due for that after this next batch. So we'll bring you back in a minute and we'll show you loading the hamburger and the chili into the freeze dryer once it's cooled down and ready to go. Our burger and chili is ready to go into the freeze dryer. There it is, pre-frozen and ready to go in. We've spread it all out in a nice thin layer, so hopefully it should freeze dry easily and thoroughly. We need to close the valve for the drain and continue. When you put this pad in, it's important that you make sure it's not sticking out over the edge too much and getting into the rubber gasket area, because this has to have a very good seal so that the unit can vacuum. So now it's on its way to freezing, and we'll bring you back and show you the finished results. We're back and we're going to check on our hamburger and chili that we had freeze drying. I'm sure the hamburger will be done. It freeze dries really fast. The chili will need to check pretty carefully to make sure that it is freeze dried. Both of these items we want to put in Mylar for long-term storage, so they do need to be very, very well dried. The burger is very obviously done. There's no issues there. It's very dry. Here's our chili, and we're going to look at like one of the tomatoes, which is definitely done, and one of the beans, again, that's definitely, it powdered right up. When it powders like that, you know that that's good and dry. So it looks like this whole batch is ready. So we're going to take it inside and put it into Mylar bags. We removed our chili from the freeze dryer, and we wanted to try showing reconstituting a little bit of it and see how it turns out. So here is our dried chili, and I have a little bit of boiling water. And we're just going to dump a little bit on there, not too much. because we don't want to make it really wet. We just want to give it enough to rehydrate. That seems to be rehydrating up really fast and really well. The inside of the beans, I just broke one open and it looks like it could use just a few more seconds to rehydrate, but it's actually rehydrating very quickly. Let's go ahead and give it a taste test. That tastes just like the fresh chili that I made the other night. So this rehydrates perfectly. This is a great meal for an on-the-go or long-term storage food supply.
All right, so fun with the GoPro. We didn't get the film of actually vacuum packing this. But what we did is we put one tray of ground burger in a bag through the Vac Master. We'll use this probably in the next 3 or 4 weeks or a month for the dog, for making dog food. But then we put the rest in our Mylar bags. And one important note on the Mylar bags, if you're doing multiple things at a time, you know, like we did 2 burgers and 1 chili. So what Sue did was put a little black dot on the chili. Now she'll come back and fill it all out. You could fill these envelopes out ahead of time as well if you wanted to. We do it after the fact because you're never quite sure how many you're going to use, and rather than marking it wrong. So we did put our oxygen absorbers in there. We keep those down here. One thing we do is we get everything ready. We cut the package, put our O2 absorbers in the bags, and then we immediately vacuum seal this again just to keep these as fresh as possible. So that's pretty much it. The other thing I'll point out is when you're doing your seals, when you're putting the bag in the impulse sealer to seal it, just take your time to get it good and flat. And I find that if you like roll it like that, you can even pull the thing over near the edge. But if you roll it, it tends to straighten it out. These are real heavy bags. I forget how many mils they are, but
7 mil, I think.
Okay, 7 mils, Sue says. So that's the key, especially with these littler bags. If you get a wrinkle in that like that and you seal it, it's not going to melt the whole seal together and it's going to slowly suck oxygen back in. So just take your time to make sure you get everything flat. In the Vac Master, there's these trays that come out, so if the product is bigger, instead of having it like up like this, you can get it down in there. So that's pretty much it. Any questions, go ahead and leave them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.